The RehabAngel knee and calf rehabilitation equipment has been invented by Neil Frame, a specialist podiatrist based at Central and Eastern Cheshire Primary Care Trust, with Trust Tech and in collaboration with MDTi. The RehabAngel was developed out of a need for a stable and graduated way of performing knee rehabilitation exercises and a controlled way of stretching the calf muscles. The RehabAngel can be set from 5 to 25 degrees at 5-degree intervals, which can then be used for a variety of squatting exercises and calf stretches as a stable platform or a sprung mechanism. The RehabAngel has one flat side and one 5-degree wedge side for rear foot support.
To perform a calf stretch for many of the patients that I see would be better performed in the vertical position with this control element at foot level, and that is of the heel being inverted slightly with the 5 degrees wedging. The bungalow roof is proven that it controls the rear foot against the lower leg, and for that reason it makes it a safer and alternate way, a better way of controlling the foot that is unstable at the rear foot.
The RehabAngel has undergone several months of testing by Professor Jim Richards at the University of Central Lancashire's biomechanics testing facilities.
Now, the thing we're particularly interested in here is graduated exercise and graduated rehab. And the thing the RehabAngel will do, which the other devices won't do, is it allows you to have a 5-degree step of increments up to 25 degrees. So what we're able to do is to determine what subtle changes in the angulation do to the patient and how these would then potentially inform a graduated exercise, graduated rehabilitation. Right from looking at from 0 degrees to 5 degrees, either incline or decline, we get a change. And what we're seeing with the data is that every single step of 5-degree increment, we're seeing a steady decrease in the loading at the ankle and a steady increasing load at the knee. So if somebody wanted to have a graduated exercise to gradually increase the load on the knee, then they could actually do a decline squat and actually do that up to 25 degrees. With the stretching, again, we are seeing a graduated effect as we go up the increments of 5 degrees. The interesting thing that we find is between 20 and 25 degrees most of the time. And when we get to 25 degrees, for both the incline and the decline, for both the squatting and the stretching activities, we find that 25 degrees we get an awful lot of extra muscle activity from around all of the muscles around the ankle, so we get these extra stabilizers required between 20 and 25 degrees. And also we get a similar pattern around the muscles around the knee, mainly rectus femoris and biceps femoris that we've also been looking at. What we can conclude from our overall findings is that the RehabAngel offers a very controlled, graduated rehabilitation method for both stretching and also squatting, in a way that no other piece of equipment that we know of on the market can do. So it offers something which is both unique and useful to the clinicians, both in private practice and the NHS.
James Self, Professor of Physiotherapy at UCLan, was shown one of the early prototypes of the RehabAngel. He pointed out the potential benefits of the device for knee rehabilitation.
I think it's well made to start off with, so when I get hold of it, it feels secure, it feels solid, so that gives me confidence to put patients that have actually got problems on it without worrying that it might fall apart or collapse or anything like that. And that's actually quite an important feature. And I think the second aspect of it is this idea that it does have the 5 different levels of angle, so you can provide a progressive loading regime in a very controlled and precise way, which I really like. And I also very much like the idea that you can then go from a stable to an unstable surface by incorporating the spring activity. And for me, I think that's a really key thing, because it can really help to challenge the control and the proprioceptive mechanisms, which are increasingly being recognised as important when it comes to particularly knee rehabilitation. I think this particular product fills a gap in the market that I'm not aware of any other sort of products that do something similar.
I'm facing that way. So, Kim, if you can just come.
I'm Angie Jackson. I'm a physiotherapist and I have my own sports injury clinic where I see a whole host of different age groups, and I'm also the Cheshire cricket physio, so I see an awful lot of cricketers coming through with a variety of lower limb problems and shoulder problems. We've sort of had a variety of different things that we've used, from foam books to pieces of foam, so there's never a consistent platform from which they can work. One of the biggest problems we've always had is in controlling their foot movements and their hip movements so that they don't use a sort of trick movement. The body will always find the easiest route. By using this piece of equipment, we're going to find that we're going to be able to keep the foot in a good alignment, which will help keep the knee and the hip in a much better position. I think one of the exciting parts about it is that we can adjust the gradients, which is the first time that there's a piece of kit that's going to enable us to do that. And what will that will be able to mimic people coming down either a steep slope or a much softer gradient, and help us to start getting the quadriceps muscle on the front of the thigh stronger, even when people have got a tight calf. And I think there's some research out now to suggest that there are optimal angles at which, if we can set the incline down to 16 degrees, which we can on this machine, then you're going to enable the quadriceps muscle to kick in much more efficiently. And I think that will have untold benefits to people with lower limb problems. The bungalow roof idea is, from our perspective, something that gives us a really good alignment whilst people are doing calf stretches. I think it will actually sort of revolutionise our practice.
As far as I'm aware, there's no other equipment that has the bungalow roof, the wedging for the rear foot, which makes it a safer and more controlled stretch for a foot that's unstable at the rear foot.
The interchangeable internal spring mechanism also allows the product to be pressed and released to improve venous return.
The problems I see on a regular basis are often involved with poor functioning and poor return of blood back through the vein system within the lower limb. And certainly any kind of tool that will help us to reinvigorate the lower limb and keep the muscles moving will help reduce static blood within the veins, help reduce pain, inflammation and swelling within the lower limb, and keep people fit and healthy. And I feel the RehabAngel is perfect for that task.
This simple yet practical innovation, invented by Neil Frame, is unique in its ability to stretch the calves and rehabilitate the lower legs on a stable and supported platform. The RehabAngel is a versatile, variable, modular piece of equipment that dismantles for ease of cleaning to meet infection control requirements. The RehabAngel is yet another example of how inventive people are in the NHS in their desire to improve healthcare. These sort of good ideas can only happen if NHS people have the confidence to voice their good ideas. These good ideas receive active, enthusiastic professional support provided by NHS innovations teams. The NHS collaborates with capable commercial partners, such as MDTi. This is what we can achieve when we work together.